In lesson 16, the title is More Complicated Evaluations. So what we're going to be doing is just more of the same thing. It's just that they're going to make them seem more complicated because they're going to use more symbols of inclusion, parentheses. They might use more negative symbols, but it's really the same process. That's why if you look at the lesson itself, right after the title of the lesson, it goes right to an example because we're not going to be learning anything new, just more complicated expressions. So first thing we do is start off, we got to substitute these values in. They give us the values of a and x, and then here's our expression, so we're going to rewrite that. A is negative 2 times x, which is negative 6, and that is being multiplied by the quantity, the opposite of a, so the opposite of negative 2, times negative 2 minus negative 6. We're going to keep rewriting, so basically we're multiplying this times this. So it's not going to hurt us to go ahead and take care of this. We won't be breaking any rules. Negative 2 times negative 6 is 12. And then let's work to start to simplify this quantity. This is like subtraction here, so the opposite of negative 2, we can take care of that right away. We won't be breaking any rules. The opposite of negative 2 is 2. And then we're going to be multiplying that times negative 2 minus the opposite of 6 is the same as plus 6. And again, you'd be tempted to just do that right away because it seems simple, but I'm going to rewrite just to make sure I don't make a careless mistake. Negative 2 plus 6 is 4. And so 12 times 8. And 12 times 8, 8 times 10 is 80. 8 times 2 is 16, so 80 plus 16 would be 96. So it's not, again, the math is never hard. The greatest number we work with is negative 6. It's really about just making sure we don't break any rules. Do one more example. We've got the opposite of b times the quantity. Negative b times the quantity b minus c minus the quantity c minus b. So we're going to have to simplify this whole thing and then eventually multiply it by negative b. So as we rewrite, negative b is going to kind of stay by itself outside the parentheses until we get this simplified. First we plug in. The opposite of b would be the opposite of negative 4, since b is negative 4, times the opposite, should have left myself more room there, the opposite of negative 4 times b is negative 4 minus c. This is where it gets confusing as you get all these extra sets of parentheses. Minus the quantity, c is negative 6, minus negative 4. So I'm going to rewrite this again and get rid of all these extra parentheses. I'm going to simplify this as well. This is 4. And this is going to be positive 4 times, this is negative 4 plus 6. Get rid of some of those parentheses. Over here you have negative 6 plus 4. It's a little cleaner. We'll sweep through again and do some simplifying. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2. Negative 6 plus 4, negative 2. Order of operations says I got to do this multiplication before I do this subtraction, which is really going to turn to addition since we're subtracting the opposite. So we rewrite again. 4 times 2 is 8, minus the opposite of 2 is the same as plus 2. So 4 times 10, and that should equal 40.